We've seen war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Kiss my ass.
They're criminals.
It is a hole. You ever been there?
He says what everyone else is thinking.
I'm dedicated to it. I can't be stopped.
Yes, bringing you the spirit of the ultimate soul music, rock and roll. Once again, as I rave about it with my incredible band, Jason Hartless and Johnny Big, the best crew in the world. Lexington, Michigan, Saginaw, Michigan, on my way to Ludington, Michigan, Paw Paw, Michigan, and then Detroit, Freedom Hill. Take a good look at the old guitar player. Yeah, I'm schnookered, I'm whacked, I'm completely stoned on killer music. I'm libertized by the ultimate freedom of sonic bombast. Welcome back to the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire. We got a very special segment right here because anything that includes the Queen of the Forest, Little Miss Dangerous, my wife, my soulmate, my hunting partner, Shemaine Nugent, with her faith and freedom celebration. It is the definition of why Shemaine are vocal and demanding accountability from our elected employees. John Rich, a great, great musical force. In fact, as I mentioned many times, I should have written Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, a Detroit cowboy. John Rich is our guest on Shemaine's Faith and Freedom, and we're going to share it with you right now because what he is doing is what all Americans should be doing, challenging the status quo like I'm doing with the Department of Natural Resources across this country and the game departments who are completely out of control. Almost every bureaucracy is abusing power and trampling on our We the People freedom. But John Rich has got an A10 warthog of We the People demands. And wait till you see what John is doing in the great state of Tennessee to take power away from the power abusers. Shemaine, I love you. John Rich, I love you.
Multi-platinum country artist John Rich is back with a brand new song and video. And this time he's taking on the federal government. The Devil in the TVA isn't just a song, it's an anthem. It's about land, community, and freedom. And it's very personal. Take a look.
You don't own nothing when the government man comes around. Put his dirty old boots on the ground, laughs at your protest. With a gun and a bulletproof vest, he don't care what you have to say. You're just gonna do it anyway. He'll smile and grin and then take your farm away. He'll tear it all to hell right in your face. Now the devil ain't got nothing on the TV.
Welcome, John Rich. Thanks so much for joining Faith and Freedom.
Good to be with you guys. Hey, Ted, how you doing, man?
I'm doing so good it's stupid. You know, Ira Dean, another Nashville country artist, has Ted Nugent guitar on the #1 song in the world, What Would Charlie Daniels Do? And I've jammed with your band, and I just wanted everybody to know that the Big and Rich band and all the best country bands are actually rhythm and blues band that would qualify for a James Brown backup. So thanks for inviting me to jam with your incredible band, John.
It was a blast, man. That was a heck of a night. And before we get started, I'll just let you know, Ted, you need one of these T-shirts. Make America big and rich again, baby. Come on.
Come on, Big and Rich. You know, John, we salute you because we know that it's all about God, family, country. That is the inspiration for your incredible musical career. You get that attitude and that piss and vinegar across with your music. But to take on the TVA, like I'm taking on the Department of Natural Resources and all the game agencies, God bless you for standing up against the corrupt, evil system. You're like a President Donald Trump with a guitar and a cowboy hat going against the deep state and the swamp. Tell us about that, and thank you for standing up like you do.
Well, thanks for letting me talk about it. So the TVA is the Tennessee Valley Authority, for people who don't know what that stands for. It was founded in 1933 by our most famous socialist president of all time, FDR, Roosevelt. And he set it up in 1933 where they only answer to the president of the United States, meaning a governor can't stop them, a mayor can't stop them, a senator, a congressman, no one can really overrule the TVA except for the President of the United States. And so because they have such unchecked power and ability to just ramrod anything they want, that's how they operate. They're a very strange entity because they're federal and private at the same time. And you tell me how that works. For instance, last year they profited $13.2 billion in 1 year. So they are a massive, massive energy company that's also federal and doesn't have to abide by zoning laws or anything like that. So the way this story happened was there's a little county here in Middle Tennessee called Cheatham County. I went to high school in Cheatham County. My dad has a little blueberry farm in Cheatham County. My brother raises meat chickens and strawberries in Cheatham County. I mean, I've known the people there for a very long time. And my brother was telling me, hey, John, have you heard what the TVA is trying to do in Cheatham County? I said, no, what are they doing? Guys, they were planning to put a 900 megawatt methane gas plant with 10 acres of lithium battery storage. And I don't mean lithium batteries like what's in your phone. I'm talking lithium batteries the size of a Connex, 10 acres of these things right on top of that map that you're looking at, which is 6,000 acres of farmland, 500 houses, 5 school districts, and the main water supply for 2 towns in that county. And I asked my brother, I said, why of all places would they put it there? And he said, TVA won't answer that question, but they're dragging everybody into court right now to sue to get access to their land. So what set me over the edge beyond what I've already told you was this part. And I know what the Nugents would do if you ran into this. I saw a video of an 88-year-old woman standing on her farm that had been in her family for more than a century. She was suffering from dementia. The TVA comes rolling up on her property, 10, 12 vehicles deep. Coming out of these trucks and cars are men in bulletproof vests, tactical gear, loaded weapons, just look like an ATF raid. They come rolling up on this lady's property. One of the next door neighbors runs out with a little GoPro camera and starts filming it. And they are demanding access to this woman's property to do destructive testing. Can you imagine that scene? Almost a 90-year-old woman facing off with guys with guns and vests. So she looks into the camera of the neighbor, like snaps out of her dementia for a few seconds. And she says, you think you own something? You don't own nothing. Looks right in the camera. I mean, just as clear as a bell. And I said, that is a song. That is the statement of the century when it comes to TVA. You think you own something, you own it as long as they say you own it. So that led to the writing of this song, The Devil in the TVA.
So where does it stand? First of all, thank you, John. You and Ted are 2 of the few who will stand up and be bold and brave and speak out to defend people like your neighbor. But where does it stand right now? And follow-up question, how come none of the mainstream media is talking about this? None of any of the media.
TVA has managed to just operate in the shadows because no one has any check or balance on them other than the President of the United States. I mean, I had senators coming to me who are current sitting senators saying, we have been begging them to abandon this project for 2 years. And they basically just flip us the bird and go, what are you going to do about it? Like, there's nothing you can do to us. Get out of my way, Senator. Get out of my way, Governor. So I don't know why the media doesn't cover it, probably because there's nothing that can be done about it unless the President of the United States does something. So where it stands today is we rallied every member of that county. I started going to people's houses with my selfie stick and an iPhone. That's all I had, sitting on front porches, interviewing people on their front porches that were being sued by the TVA to gain access to their property. And a lot of these people didn't even have the resources to hire an attorney. So they're walking into court with no attorney against the TVA, who has hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of attorneys on retainer. And of course, they're getting knocked out left and right. I just started getting their stories, posting it on X, just at John Rich, going, hey, check this story out. Next thing you know, there's millions of views accruing on these videos that I'm doing. And then I get a phone call that the senior vice president of government relations would like to come to your house, John, and have a chat with you, because there's millions of people that are just not understanding the situation that you're putting these videos out. I said, oh, send that fat bastard over to my house. I know who you're talking about. Send him over here. Tell him to wipe the barbecue sauce off of his chin before he walks in my front door so he don't mess up my carpet. I said, send him on over.
Say that?
That's what I told him. Send him over. So he came over. And, you know, Ted, I know you guys remember Foghorn Leghorn from the cartoons,
Sure.
you know. This guy sounds like that. He goes, now, John, now you know the TVA has done a lot of good things over the years, John, and it's just a misunderstanding going on. He's talking to me like that, and I'm getting so infuriated listening to this guy. I looked him in the eye and I said two things. I said, one, if a man had done nothing but good his entire life, then he walked up in your grandmother's front yard and slapped her across the face, would you care that he had done good things his whole life up and until that point? Or is all you would care about knocking his brains out for slapping your grandmother across the face? Well, of course, he had no answer to that. And I said, I'm going to make you a promise, make you a deal. You got 2 weeks to get out of Cheatham County. And if you don't, I'm going to take this all the way to the president. And bonus, I'm going to write a song that compares TVA to the devil. And I'm going to have millions of people singing it. I'm going to rebrand the TVA to the United States and make people fully understand what kind of tyranny you guys are raining down on people, that you step all over their Fourth Amendment rights, that you are unbridled and unchecked. That's where we went. I mean, it was Dukes up, let's go. And I think he thought I was kidding, because 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks roll by and they're still suing people, still dragging them into court. And I said, okay, we got to go big or go home. So I wrote this song, and now it's out.
I love it.
Fantastic.
John, can you stick around one more segment? Because it feels like we're just getting started here. I want to find out more. And I know Ted has some more questions, but can you stick around one more segment?
I certainly can. Love to.